Hi, Real Chat. Are you guys there? Can you hear and see me? You created a new one. Welcome, Foxy Cat 002. Hello. You guys can hear me and stuff over here on real stream. Hi. Okay. I'm still on Burger Reich. It's Fuck Off Friday. I lost my cool a little bit. So, you guys, I know it's Fuck Off Friday. Somebody's like, you're regulated. Oh no, get meaner. So yeah, you need to escape. I know, Jamie. It's real bad today. It's extra stupid today. It's crazy. So we're still over here. So I'm gonna fight with him a little more. Okay, you fucking idiots. All right, what's something you think is what's a ding dong idea? Give me one of your ding dong ideas. People claiming I know, Katina. You really want to know why the West wants Korea divided? Okay, this is a great question. Good question. All right, so originally, the West did not want Korea divided. Originally, the West wanted control over Korea. So Korea had been under the Japanese imperial kind of leadership up until the end of World War II. Now, when Japan, because it was fascist, right? Fascist Japan, who was allied with the Nazis, etc., when they lost the war in World War II, they were forced to give up all of their territorial holdings. Fun fact, also Formosa, aka Taiwan. That had been one of their territorial holdings. So they had to give up Korea because they had been were doing imperialism in Korea. It was horrible. They were awful to the Korean people. So the thing, though, that scared the United States about this is that because communism is a liberation ideology, which if you're in the West, you probably, that doesn't make sense to you because you got white people brain. But for people of color throughout the world, communism is a liberation ideology. They use communism as a way to liberate themselves from us, from Western culture, from Western powers, from Western white powers, from imperialist powers, etc., because it gives them a path to liberation. So Korea was no exception. This is true of many other places that experienced imperialism. And they, while under still Japanese imperial control, had been quietly building a communist resistance to the Japanese. So they had been building this communist resistance to the Japanese. They had set up, reading groups for Marx. They had set up these little organizations that day one, when Japan was forced to surrender, they had a fully functioning people's government on the ground just based on this organizing they had done under imperialism. So these groups became people's committees. And under communism, people's committees are the local governing bodies of communism. So day one, right, the war's over, Japan surrenders, and the Korean people are like, awesome, we got this now. We're our own country. Cool, we're free. So the people's committees immediately get to work, and they start organizing things, and everything's going well. But pretty immediately, the United States is like, holy shit, Korea's full of communists. They didn't know. North and South, Korea was full of communists. And you guys in the West, you're going to be like, no, there's no way. Yeah, they were. They were all fucking commies, all right? I don't know what to tell you. There's literally billions of communists in the world. You only think it's weird because you're in the hyper-capitalist, fascist, anti-communist imperial core, okay? You guys think there's no way in the world people like communism. We all do. Everybody does. Everybody does, especially in places that have experienced oppression by us. Oppression by the United States. They like it. Sorry, cope. So everybody in Korea, communist. This freaks the United States out. They're like, absolutely not. So the United States goes to the UN and they're like, hey, don't you think maybe Korea's too young and fragile to be able to lead itself? Maybe they shouldn't be in charge of themselves. Maybe like we, the United States, could just like kind of be their protectorate for a while. And the UN's like, yeah, sounds great to me. And the USSR steps up and is like, bro, absolutely fucking not. What are you talking about? You can't just take over control of Korea. No. So the UN is like, oh shit, we can't go straight from World War II into World War III. This all happened within days, by the way. This was like a week of negotiating at the end of World War II. This is how fast this all happened. And their shit was fucked. Like, the USSR lost 27 million people fighting the Nazis. Is that correct, chat? Like, wild. Like, they were devastated. The United States was devastated. Everybody was devastated. And the UN was like, we cannot have World War III right now. Like, we just cannot. So, to make sure that World War III didn't happen, the UN was like, all right, what if we temporarily divide Korea in half? The South can be under the protectorate of the United States, and the North can be under the protectorate of the USSR, and then we'll have a reunifying election in like a month, and everybody, then they can choose their own leadership. And the United States was like, better than nothing, we'll take it. And the USSR was like, whatever, man. Yeah, just as long as the United States doesn't colonize Korea, fine. So two army officers from the United States government went on a map and literally just drew a line within 30 minutes, cutting the Korean peninsula in half. I mean, it went through towns. It was like the most bullshit line ever. And the reason they chose it is because Korea is very, very mountainous. I don't know if you guys know that. It's like over 60% mountainous terrain. Well, the northern half of Korea is over 80% mountainous terrain, and not just regular mountains, rugged mountains, like fucked up mountains. It's very, very hard to get infrastructure there. There's not a lot of access to farming land. There's hardly any farming land. But the south is more resource rich and it's easier to deal with. So they were like, we're going to divide it here so we get all the resources in the south that we can kind of control. Thank you, Dorian Sapiens. 27 million. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Yeah, real chat. Thank you. We're educating Burger Right chat. Okay, so this is what happened. So they did this. They took control of the South, and the first thing the Americans did was try to murder all the communists, like immediately. But the problem is that everybody in Korea was a communist. So what ended up happening is the Americans committed genocide in the South. They did, and the place that had been the central kind of location of the organizing was Jeju Island in the South. They literally committed genocide on Jeju Island. You can look up Jeju Island, Jeju genocide. You'll find all sorts of documentation about it. To this day, researchers on Jeju Island are still uncovering the extent of the genocide that occurred there. That's how bad it was. So the United States basically imposes a military dictatorship over the South, and their goal is to eradicate all the communists. So come election time, hopefully they can push a pro-capitalist guy in, right? Doesn't happen. They're not able to stamp out the communist resistance, which means they have to keep delaying the re-election. And eventually the UN is like, we could oversee a re-election. And the USSR is like, fuck off, UN. First of all, that violates your charter. Second of all, you're going to fake an election. Duh, what? We know you. So meanwhile, in the North, the USSR didn't have to do anything. Why? Because the people of Korea had been learning from the USSR. They were all inspired by the USSR. So the USSR shows up and they're like, do you guys need anything? And they're like, no, we're just copying your work. We liked it. That's what we want. That's what we're doing. And so the USSR was like, oh, cool. All right. Have fun. Let us know if you need something. There's actually a historian who writes about this, Susie Kim. She's a professor of Korean history at Rutgers, and she focuses on the period from 1945 to 1950, which is post-war post-World War II, pre-Korean War. And she actually says, I'm so sorry, early in the book, if you came here hoping to learn about the USSR, get another book. It's not about Korea, because the USSR was just not very active in Korea. I'm so sorry. That's what Americans think. Sorry, it's not true. I can't find shit about it. It's not going to be in any book about this period in North Korea, which is true, and it just makes sense. Regardless of how you feel about the USSR, they didn't have to do anything because everybody already agreed with them. In the South, the Americans had their work cut out for them because they were ideologically very, very opposed, right? So in the North, meanwhile, when it became abundantly clear that this reunification was not going to happen, they held their own elections. And, well, at first the USSR appointed Kim Il-sung, because he was very, very popular with the people, to be, like, in charge of the transition government. And then when it became apparent that they weren't going to be able to reunify, the North had their own elections, and Kim Il-sung was actually elected. Everybody loved him. He was a war hero. He helped fight against the Japanese. I mean, everyone in all of Korea loved him, so this made sense. And that was the first elected leader. Now, as time went on, it became more and more and more obvious that, one, the United States was not going to allow these countries to the country to reunify, and that, two, the United States was slaughtering everybody in the South. They were slaughtering everybody, right? So what ended up happening is the North entered the South to expel the Americans. So in the United States, we learned the Korean War was North Korea versus South Korea. It was a civil war. Not true. Nobody in North Korea will tell you that they were fighting with South Korea. That's crazy. They will tell you that they were fighting with the Americans. To them, they're like, this was our war against the Americans. This was a great war against the Americans for our liberation from the Americans, which is accurate. So that is what happened during the Korean War. Now, during the Korean War, these people just wanted to fight for their liberation from us, right? From the United States government oppressing them, okay? So what did the United States do? Well, the United States responded by doing to them what we just saw Israel do to Gaza, to Palestine. The United States leveled 80% of their infrastructure, killed between 20 and 25% of their entire population, civilians included. All right, people were living underground. They were living in huts. The United States tested napalm on these people. These people were burnt to death. Children were burnt to death. I mean, literally all just because they wanted to be in charge of their own country. They didn't want to be colonized. So that is what we did to Korea. We did not necessarily want Korea to be divided. We wanted to be in charge of all of Korea under us. Now, to this day, South Korea is still a neo-colony of the United States. All right, for years and years, we propped up the entire South Korean economy because it was failing so badly. But like now, like their military can't act without our military approving it. Like we still are in charge of their military to this day, like very, very expressly and directly. Is Korea strategic militarily for us? Yeah, it's right next to Russia. Yeah, it's very, very, very close to Russia. And it is strategic location-wise. It's our kind of home over in the east. Taiwan's the same thing. That's the same reason we do that. So you can see our lives, Comrade Nafi, hi, are about current events usually. On Thursdays we read theory, but today we're going to be doing current events. Good morning, everybody. How are you? I'm still on Burger Reich. I was explaining Korea to Burger Reich. A bunch of them left. See, that's the thing. I had 400 people in here, and then I start actually explaining history. 200 leave. So Taiwan was not attached to Korea. No. Taiwan was under Japanese imperial holding, but still, it had been a part of China, and then Japan was out there doing fucked up shit. Japan gets off real easy for how evil they've been. Japan's evil, historically. Like the United States is evil historically. They're evil. Right now, they're evil, too. They got that fascist chick in charge. They're all fashy and shit. So Japan had been out colonizing. They took control of Taiwan as they took control of Korea. But Taiwan and Korea were not linked, if that makes sense. Yeah, Japan's bad. 142. Okay. Well, I cut my bangs. I knew we'd lose some people. I don't have makeup. I didn't get ready. I just got out of the shower. It's going to be weird. Okay. We're just going to have... I'm not hot enough. So we're just going to have a low turnout today because it's not sexy. We're back, though. We're back on baby bangs. We're back to it. I am a Marxist-Leninist, Nafi. Yep, like Syngman Rhee, exactly. Thank you. I cut them. They short. Show fork. Fork's in bed. I'm not going to do that. Okay. So, you guys, we've established, don't know a lot about the world. That's okay. You know what? It's Fuck Off Friday. I'm supposed to be mean to you, but I can't help but be sympathetic. It's not your fault you don't know a lot about the world, right? The U.S. government wants you to be a fucking idiot. That's what they want. They want you to be fucking stupid. And I'm sorry, you saw that chat earlier. These people are fucking stupid, right? They're out here accidentally doing Nazi apologia because they want to hate communism so bad because Burger Reich Overlord told them communism is their enemy. Meanwhile, communists just want to give them free houses and shit. Why do you think the capitalists hate it so much, right? Big surprise. They want you to be dumb, so you're out here saying stupid shit like Stalin killed 100 million people. Fascism is communism, right? And you see why, right? Because when you think that way, you're very complacent. You do their bidding, you deal with their bullshit. Okay, so they've also made everybody illiterate, so you don't want to read a fucking book. God forbid anybody read a book, right? My entry-level reading list on Korea has 6 books on it. It's my entry. That's to get you started, right? And nobody's going to fucking read that. So here's where Fuck Off Friday comes in. If you're stupid about politics, the first step is admitting it. If you're stupid about politics and history, the first step is admitting it. Once you've realized that you know nothing about the way the world works and maybe you've been lied to, the second step is trying to unlearn all your bullshit and learn the truth, right? Learn the truth about shit. So that's what we do over on Twitch. We talk about current events. We talk about them from a left-wing political perspective. We provide any necessary historical context you might be missing when you're reading the news, when you're looking at headlines, things that they don't tell you. We go through that all together. So come on over to Twitch. There's fewer fucking idiots there. I'm just going to tell you right away. This app, I say this all the time. TikTok is Gen Z Facebook. It's the stupidest fucking people on the planet. It's just... everybody's gonna get scammed by somebody running an email hacking phishing thing in like 5 minutes. As soon as I hang up this live, everybody's getting phished and scammed. So that's how dumb it is over here. So come over to Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Madeline Pendleton. Same as here, but with no underscore. Yeah, I just got out of the shower. Sorry, I'm running late today. Yes, of course I miss. We talk about politics. We talk about history. And a lot of people in the chat, very, very, very smart. Very, very smart chat. Here, with you all, I'm a genius. I'm the smartest person who's ever walked the face of the earth. On Twitch, I'm just another Marxist. That's it. I'm just another Marxist. I'm no smarter than anybody else over on Twitch. So you're going to be, that saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, find another room? Yeah, that's why we're over on Twitch. I had to find another room because this shit was insane. So if you would like to go to another room full of smart people, I love being in a room full of smart people. Come on over to Twitch. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to learn about the world. It's going to be way better than here. Okay? Yes, we are Pokemon going to the polls for Ramsey Robinson. Big Gotko's the smartest person to our room, hand down. Yeah, first time chat. Yeah, I'm still on Burger Reich. I'm trying to get them over there. Yeah, they can. I'm a genius. I'm the smartest person ever. And you know what? If they post it on TikTok, I'll stand by it. I'm the smartest person on TikTok, apparently. But I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not. They're just not following the other smart people. And that's the problem, right? There's plenty of people on TikTok smarter than me. They're not following them. They don't know. So come on over. Yeah, I think Megan and Lala both have a good chance to. Come on over. I'm going to hang up here with you. I'm going to jump over to Real Stream, twitch.tv/Madeline Pendleton. Come join us. Learn some things. I'm hanging up. Okay? All right. Okay. Come over. We'll talk about it all. We'll talk about everything. We'll talk about it all. Okay. Holy shit. That was fucking rough today. Fork's mad. She's right to be. I can't even judge her. He'd pick up my gut to let go. That was insane this morning. It's like they're getting stupider. It's like yesterday was pretty chill because I was hot. And that's the thing. Yesterday I looked like a straight guy would think I was hot, so they were all nice to me. Today I look weird and gay, so they're just like, fuck you. All right, literally, right? Should we have a sub goal for the day? Yeah, let's do a sub goal. That'd be fun. Burger Reich was rough this morning. Oh my god. Yeah, they were really mad. They were really mad. Stole this from Larry's stream. I've been listening to it nonstop. Can we listen to it? Yes, Virgo. I'm gonna pull it out. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Fuck Off Friday is always a wild one. Always a wild one. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Hi, Larry. Thank you for giving us this. Fork, do you want to be social or talk in the room by yourself? I'm gonna go get her. You watch this. I'm gonna go get her. Hold on. Chairman has arrived. What? Just stalling. Yeah, stall. He defeated the Nazis. Yeah. The Nazis. You know what a Nazi is, for? You know what a Nazi is? Yeah. You would hate them. You would hate the Nazis. They were Germans, like you. Yeah, you were German. That's true. I needed that palate cleanser. Thank you, Virgo. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, everyone. The Fidel poster's in my hallway. I can't carry my computer over there, but it's big and it's in the hallway, and I got it in Cuba. The Martin Luther King Center gave them to us. Some posters of Fidel. Also, I got something else I can show you. I can take this off my wall. Should I go get something to show you from Cuba really fast? You got called to campus for the first time today. Yay. Congrats. Should I get it? Okay. Hold on. Screensaver. Okay, this is my show and tell today. So this is from Cuba. It's 3 different things. Sorry, it's reflecting. 3 different things here. All right. So the first thing is the documentation for the ticket to be a participant in the Nuestra America Convoy reception. Too late. I'm back. The second is to meet the president. We met Miguel Diaz-Canel. Well, we didn't meet him. He gave a talk, and we were all in the parliament kind of room. So it's not like we met him. So there's maybe an exaggeration for me to word that way. I didn't meet him, but there was a reception. They received us, and he spoke. I showed you guys. I just fucked it up. That looks all crooked now. Yeah. So that's the speech I showed you. That was the ticket for that. And then this last thing is really, really special. So I don't know if the light's gonna be weird. I don't want to blind you with the light. Oh, there. Okay, this thing. So this is actually historical, but it has my name on it because at the literacy center, these were the ID cards that the literacy teachers would carry around right after the revolution, and they had a bunch of extra ones that are now part of the literacy center's archives, and they had so many, in fact, that they put our names on all of them and gave us each one as a memento, a souvenir of having gone. But these are the literal cards that were carried around by the literacy teachers during the literacy campaign. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go put this back. I'm gonna get water, and I'll be back in like 1 second, so you can vote on whether Fresno's real or not. I'm gone. Okay, I'm back. Hi. Hello. Yeah, I kind of feel like I should get more piercings if I'm gonna have short bangs. Whoever's thinking about getting new piercings, maybe I should too. I'm a state recognized honorary Cuban teacher. All right, so hello everybody. Welcome to Real Stream. I'm gonna be a little rough today. I'm a little chaotic. So basically today, after this stream is over, I have a bunch of work to do, and then my partner and I are driving to Las Vegas to go to Sick New World, which is gonna be really, really cool. So for those of you who don't know, it's like a new metal festival. So there's gonna be Korn's gonna be there, System of a Down's gonna be there, and my friend got us in for free. So maybe a hardish exit, you know. Mostly I'm concerned about the work I have to do. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. You're going to the Dallas one. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yes. Oh, can we talk about the Javier AstroTurf? It's crazy. Crawling in my skin. Lincoln Park, dead. Not here, dead. Cuba After Castro was really, really good. So what I want to tell you guys about Cuba After Castro, and I'm going to encourage you to do this, is that if it's not screening where you are, they want you to see it. So we did an interview with the producer. They want you to see it, which means that you can screen it. You can screen it for a community, for a small group, whatever. Go to request a screening. Don't be intimidated by it. Put your info here. And you can say if you have a budget or not. If you don't have a budget, they'll probably work with you. They want people to see it. So, yeah. Go check that out for anybody. CubaAfterCastro.com. Request a screening. You can play it in your town. Yeah. And it's going to be out on YouTube as well. Yes, it will be coming out on YouTube. It's Cuba After Castro. Your Cuba sure came. Yay. Love. I'm thinking about cutting mine up to make it slutty. Maybe. I don't know. Turf bangs. Oh yeah. No. I used to have what they called turf bangs back in the day. They would be like jagged and like this piece would be like here and this piece would be like here. They were super fucked up. But no, baby bangs are different. They're different than the turfy bangs. Yeah. You're getting a crazy haircut? Yay, awesome. Yeah, it's Abby Martin. I didn't know about Abby Martin until you guys told me. So, you know. The bangs are banging. We have banged. She bangs. So, yeah, I know. I made the change to be a little cooler, but it's a little less hot. So we're going to get fewer people in the chat till they grow out a little bit. I'm telling you, I'm working the science of the conventional hot to Twitch attendee ratio and what does it. You know? It's not these bangs. That's for sure. All right, Autistic Daddy's getting us started with some news. It's great. Keep us on track here, chat. I am going to open this Autistic Daddy, but before everybody starts sending theirs, we're going to do 10 minutes of Q&A. Oh my God, fork. What is she so upset about? I don't trust her. You know, I don't trust her judgment sometimes. What happened with the cat black thing? Okay, hold on. Let me set this and I'll tell you. We'll tell you the lore. We'll tell you the lore. It all started in November of 2024. What is David's degree? David's degree is in cultural studies because he was getting his doctorate in philosophy from University of Chicago, and then he was basically poached by the same school he did his master's degree at, which is Claremont. And Claremont was like, we don't have a philosophy department, but we really want you to come back, and we will like custom create a program for you. And David really liked the person who'd been like his master's advisor, I guess, there, so they would be his doctoral advisor. So David agreed to do it, and it was free. They were like, come, it'll be free. So David got his degree, his doctorate from them under cultural studies, but it's basically a philosophy degree, if that makes sense. All right. So cat black lore is this. In 2024, I got several pitches from the Democratic Party to make content for them on TikTok. And they offered to pay me around $15,000 over a period of 2 or 3 months to make content for them leading up to the election. I turned it down. I didn't say anything about online. I was like, whatever, not my thing, not me. But then I got on TikTok and I saw a lot of people who were basically performing the pitch briefs I had received and not disclosing it was paid ad content. So I made a video being like, hey, just so you guys know, a lot of this, if it seems like everybody's opinion has shifted from like, fuck the Democratic Party for committing genocide, and then now all of a sudden they're Kamala stands, there's a reason for that. The Democratic Party is paying influencers tens of thousands of dollars to make these types of videos. I know, because here's the pitch I received. I showed everything on my Twitter and everything. I turned it down, but I read all the pitch briefs because I was curious. And I have seen people, I'm not going to name names, but I've seen people on TikTok performing to those pitch briefs and not saying they're getting paid. So you should know, as a consumer of the internet, that this is not all organic content. This is a lot of people getting paid and not telling you they're getting paid. And the pitch briefs actually told you explicitly how to not legally have to disclose you were getting paid. They wanted people to not disclose that it was paid content. And I thought that was sketchy. So I made this video. That was it. Video blew up. 3 days after it blew up, 2 days after it blew up, I think a handful of people who were content creators on the internet, who were all black, I am going to say, they were all black content creators who had an affiliation with the Democratic Party, like officially, like Democratic Party lawyers who are now influencers. This guy, Too Raw, Too Real, who literally posts videos of him in the White House teaching Kamala Harris and Joe Biden how to dance. He was like a social media influencer for the White House or something. People like this. We're talking about people who were very directly and clearly linked to the Democratic Party. On their own LinkedIns, it would say that they worked with the Democratic Party and they were also influencers. The same day, they all came out with videos saying that you shouldn't trust me, that I was a liar, and that I was racist, and that I was transphobic, and that I hated Kamala Harris because I was a racist transphobe, not because I actually had left-wing politics, and that you shouldn't listen to me, I was untrustworthy, and that I was a liar. So all of that happened the same day, right? Take from that what you will. It feels very coordinated. I don't know. People think it's coordinated. We have no proof it's coordinated, but it's suspicious at the very least. So from there, the internet exploded. So basically what you need to know is, up until that point, I had been like way too loved on the internet. Like way too loved. Like people made videos being like, this is the only white person I trust. Like, this is Aunt Madeline. Like when I wrote my book, the publisher did an analysis on how many times my name appeared on the internet and whether it was positive or negative content. I think it was 99.8% of the way people talked about me on the internet was positive. And they were like, we've never seen numbers like this before. Like, ever. And I knew while it was happening, I was like, this is getting weird. Like, people are way, way too into me, whatever. So the come down, the crash was massive. So for 2 weeks, my name was a trending hashtag on TikTok, and people were just making up the craziest shit about me. It was one of those things where everyone was like, I knew there was something bad about Madeline. I did nothing. All I did was not vote for Kamala Harris, which everybody knew I was a communist. I always told people I was a communist. Why the fuck would they think a communist would vote for Kamala Harris? Whatever. So then they started spreading all these rumors that I was secretly MAGA, that I was secretly a Republican, all this crazy shit, like just wild ass fucking shit. So this was in October. So then November comes, Kamala Harris loses the election, right? Who could have predicted this? Every single leftist on the planet knew she would fucking lose, right? And people were saying, the wildest shit about me. People doxed me. People tried to claim I was a landlord. They said I was a millionaire. They claimed I was a paid Russian asset. They said I was paid by MAGA. They said I was secretly MAGA. They all the shit. They really didn't like. They thought I voted for Jill Stein, and so when I showed them who I voted for, they got really mad about this one too, because this is who I voted for. That they really had a hard time with, because they were trying to call me, they were saying I didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris because she was black, and I was like, well, I voted for a black woman, just not that one. I voted for the black woman who wanted to give all black people in the United States reparations, actually, so sorry. I just didn't vote for the ethnic cleansing one. They didn't like that. They didn't like any of this, so they kind of lost it. They kind of fucking lost it, right? Now, November, election comes along. Kamala Harris loses. So what happens next? Well, everybody takes the internet to say, I, Madeline Pendleton, am the reason Kamala Harris lost. So right now I have 1.6 million followers on TikTok. I used to have 1.8 million. From all this, I lost 200,000 followers. Crazy. Again, literally all I did was not be a Democrat. That was it. So then it got even crazier, and I got flooded with all these like white liberal chicks, like Democrat chicks, blue MAGA types on my page, and they were like, Madeline hates Palestinian people and trans people. And I responded to one of them. They said this. She hates Palestinian people and trans people. And so I corrected this person, because I'm like, well, you don't get to misgender me just because I'm not a Democrat. That's not how that works. And I said, first of all, my cousins are Palestinian. Okay. And second of all, I am trans people. Like, I'm not, don't she, her, me. Like, I'm non-binary. I am trans. And my cousins are Palestinian, because if you're non-binary, hey, babe, that's under the umbrella. You're not cisgender. You do not relate to the gender you were assigned at birth. I had to pull out this diagram for people. Like, I was like, look at this diagram to understand gender. I'm going to show you guys this one. This is literally, I was showing people, because I was like, how no Democrat understands gender. So they were losing their minds at this shit. I was like, look. You could be non-binary or binary transgender. This is me. I'm part of this community. It's not that I don't care. It's that I do care, and I care so much. In fact, I know Joe Biden signed the first federal anti-trans legislation in decades, and that's part of why I fucking hate these people. Fuck these people, right? Kamala Harris got on Fox News that she would defend the law in the year of the most anti-trans legislation being introduced in the country. Whatever. So, whatever the case, I was like, you don't get to do this. You don't get to misgender me. You don't get to call me a woman. You don't get to say I hate trans people. I'm part of that community, and that's part of why I hate Democrats. Actually, you don't get to say that I hate Palestinian people. My cousins are Palestinian. The Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine called on Americans to actually boycott the two-party system during the election. So fuck off. So from there, a bunch of very binary, like very, very Democrat-coded trans people took that out of context, and then they basically made this narrative that I was speaking over trans people. I was talking to a cisgender white Democrat woman from the South. Okay, that's who I was talking to. So they took this out of context, and they made a bunch of videos saying that that I said that my experience was the same as a transgender person pursuing like medical treatment, that I actually had the right to speak over these people, that I thought my experience was exactly the same as theirs. The people medically transitioning, I was like, fuck people medically transitioning, like all this crazy shit to basically make it look like I was a delusional, insane person, rather than just saying like, hey, I am part of this community. You don't get to act like I'm a cisgender woman just because you don't like that I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Like, you don't, that's not how this works. To a cis woman, whatever. So these videos then blew up. So this was February by the time this happened. Kat Black saw these videos, I'm guessing. Kat Black admitted she'd never consumed any of my content. She didn't know what I was actually saying. She didn't know what the actual story was. She just saw this game of telephone spiral out of control. And then she made a video repeating a lot of the lies about me that had been spread everywhere on the internet. So all of her followers came to my page and attacked me. And I was like, they were like, respond to Kat Black. And I was like, I'm not going to fucking respond to her. First of all, she's doing what a bunch of people on the internet have been doing to me. She's spreading misinformation about me because she didn't fact check shit, which is irresponsible of her. But she's a black trans woman. Like, what am I going to fight with her? I'm going to lose. Like, whatever. If she's a black trans woman and she wanted to vote for Kamala Harris, I'm not going to be able to tell her she shouldn't have voted for fucking Kamala Harris. But what I do think is gross is that a bunch of white Democrats are using her. I said like the one-legged solo poly hijabi meme to be like a token for why they're good people pat themselves on the back for supporting the fucking Democrats is they're doing ethnic cleansing. And I don't fuck with that. I don't like that, you know? So not only is Kat Black a black trans woman, she also had a Palestinian partner. So it's like, I'm not gonna fucking win, like, arguing with her. Like, she wants to vote for the Democratic Party, go for it, babes. I'm not going to convince her not to, right? This is just fucking weird. This is weird. I'm not going to fight with her. I'll reiterate my point and everything I've said. I'll clear up any misinformation on my end. But I'm not going to fight with this woman for your amusement. Like, whatever. We have different politics. What do you fucking want from this? I think it's gross that the Democratic Party is out seeking minorities, you know, to kind of use as a shield to protect them from criticism of committing genocide. I think that's fucking gross, right? I think that's gross. So that is what happened. Kat Black then didn't hear that and was like, Madeline called me a solo poly one-legged hijabi meme. And I was like, babe, you don't even know what the meme was. There was this whole thing where we were making fun of people using the meme because it was like, you're trying so hard to be woke that you're like tokenizing every sort of marginalization a person can have to be like, I'm good. I did it. I'm good. That's what the Democrats were doing with this woman. But anyway, she didn't understand that, I guess, because she never read theory. She could have read Elite Capture and we would have bypassed this all. Now, cut to today. Today, now, Kat Black is on the internet saying you should actually not be mean to people for voting third party. This is something she made all her videos about how I was an evil person for voting third party, and it was evidence that I did, in fact, hate black people and trans people because I did not want to vote for Kamala Harris. That was what her video about me that launched all this was. And, yeah, crazy. And now she's out here, that third-party vote is looking real good to her right about now. Why? Because communists, leftists were just right too early. They don't like that. So then now people are like, well, what about Madeline? Are you going to fucking apologize to Madeline? And she's like, no, Madeline is still a racist. Now, the other thing you need to know is that Kat Black wrote a manifesto about me on her blog. What is her fucking blog? The Black in the City. This is what it is. Let's see if I can find it. I'm on her blog for the first time ever. Let's see if we can find it. The Manifesto. Yes. Also, this shit fucking pisses me off too. Oh, she took it down? Is this her? Maybe this isn't her. Is this her? I wonder if she took it down. Yeah. Is this her thing? I don't know. That is her blog, right? Yes. She's a Substack. I wonder if it's on the Substack. I'm looking. I think she took it down. She took it down. It's not there anymore. Well, so it was there, I guess. I don't know. And it was a whole manifesto about how I was the devil for voting third party. Not up anymore. Sorry. Okay, so that is it. Now you're caught up to speed. It is a whole thing. It's very, very weird. And I think it's a good lesson in, first of all, fucking media literacy. These people just invented a game of telephone and ran with it. I personally now, because of that experience, do not believe anything I hear about people on the internet. Ever. Because I'm like, oh, I see what these people said about me. These people just made up insane shit about me. Also, people are fucking stupid. They got mad at me for, okay, so this one woman, one of the influencers, what's her fucking name? Elizabeth Booker Houston. Elizabeth Booker Houston is one of the people who started all this. And she said, I promise we're almost done. Worst game of telephone you've ever seen. She was like, well, you're not a real communist if you don't vote for Kamala Harris. And I was like, bitch, you better not speak about our people this way. You do not know what you are fucking saying. You shut your fucking mouth. What? And she was like, well, Angela Davis endorsed Kamala Harris. And I was like, yeah, Angela Davis is CPUSA. That's a very specific offshoot of communists that not all of us agree with. I left CPUSA because other communists do not agree with their stance on voting fucking for Democrats. Like, that's very rare. And there's a reason Angela Davis specifically went there. Oh, this is what she said. She said the Black Panthers would vote for Kamala Harris. And I was like, no. Hard no. Absolutely no. No, they would not. And that's when she was like, well, Angela Davis. I said, you know Angela Davis was not a Black Panther, right? Please tell me you know that. She did work with the Black Panthers, but when the Black Panthers said, okay, now do you want to actually join our party? She said no, and she went CPUSA instead. Why? CPUSA is different politics than Black Panthers. Black Panthers are an expressed Marxist-Leninist party. And she did not want that. She wanted a little more generic Marxist-y party, right? And that's where she went for a reason. And then I had all these people freaking out that I was wrong about Angela Davis not being a Black Panther. And I'm like, babe, I've been in rooms with Black Panther speaking. I've been in rooms with Angela Davis speaking. I went and joined CPUSA because I grew up looking up to Angela Davis, and I went there and I didn't like that shit, and that's why I left. I was in critical resistance workshops, rooms of 10 people with me and Angela Davis, and they just could not. Oh, you found it, Z the commie. They just could not handle it. She really did delete it. So she really did delete this. She took it down. Wow, let's find it. Yeah. The problem with Madeline Pendleton, common issue on the so-called left. It's absolutely crazy. The ultimate ID politic villain. And I didn't even say she was that. I said that the Democrats were using her like that. The ultimate identity politics villain is what they were trying to do. They were trying to, like, now you, white non-binary person, fight with this black trans woman. And that was really what they were doing. So, but she's not politically literate enough to understand that's what I was critiquing. Yeah, so-called left, right. Argued to our audience that I was simply a Democrat sent by the CIA in favor of the DNC. I never said she was sent by the CIA. That's an absolutely crazy thing. I said she was a YouTuber. Derogatory. Yeah, this is her whole thing going on. I am not a Democrat, she says. Then why did you fucking campaign for Democrats, babe? So she's going on and on and on and on. I'm no fan of Kamala Harris, but I want people to vote for her, blah, 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 blah. I saw a lot of content from Madeline targeting the Democrats and their voters, which is not true. I actually said, I know why good people vote for Democrats. I don't care. Yes, I took issue with Kamala Harris' stance on Israel, blah, 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 blah. My partner is Palestinian. This is what I mean. ID politics villain. It's just like my firsthand experience, you know, and this was the problem with her. YouTuber, derogatory. Yeah. Yeah, it was not, this is crazy. She said she was Democrat 2 years ago. Yeah. Much of Madeline's content during the election surrounded the idea that Democrats were evil. They are. Yes, correct. I stand by that. Yeah, she's writing this hard for that she's writing fucking think piece about. Now, the thing that got me the most, I'd already unfollowed Madeline during this time because of her praise of North Korea. God forbid this woman use my pronouns correctly. Also, God fucking forbid we get a pronoun correct in here. Yeah. Also, though, North Korea, I didn't even know this person followed me. Frankly, I didn't know who they were. I didn't know they existed. Oh, yeah. I got invited to the White House once. It was chill, but I got to keep my Doc Martens on. Like, bitch, what do you think this is proving? What do you think this is proving? Pronouns. Yeah, thank you. Okay, wait. It was strange to me that she chose to focus so much of her energy and time on responding to black women in a particular way. Oh, do you mean the lawyer for the Democratic Party who was targeting me and harassing me with misinformation? The rich woman from Washington, D.C. with political power? I also don't like this. This is a problem we're going to get into. The thing that really fucking set me off about this, where I was just like, girl, fuck you. Anyway, a way that mimicked the anti-blackness most black women were afraid of Kamala experiencing. Like, she is not an uwu, powerless black woman. She is a fucking war criminal. Sorry, Fork. I know, Fork's very, yeah. So, I observed Kamala Harris. She was obviously incredibly intelligent and well-spoken. She's a psychopath. She's a fucking psychopath. I personally voted for her because, like 92% of black women, I properly understood the threat of Donald Trump. Okay, well, you didn't properly understand the threat of, I don't know if Kat Black is from California or not, but as somebody who's born and raised in California, I've seen what Kamala Harris did to California, did to San Francisco. I lived in San Francisco when she was there too. So she's talking about doing sex work, blah, 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 blah. She's all of her stuff. Yeah, when I saw my feed responding to one of Madeline Pendleton's comments underneath a video about whether or not she regrets her vote because of the impact on anti-trans legislation, I'm literally trans and I have Palestinian relatives. Yes, I have Palestinian cousins is what I said, but yes. So, yeah, correct. That is correct. So, it was always fine to me that she voted for Claudia De La Cruz, the socialist candidate. Apparently fucking not. The lack of empathy. Like, this woman is so oblivious to everything that was happening to me for the months before this occurred. It was insane. No wonder she took it down. Okay, wait. So where is the I have no doubt that there are black people? That was... let's see. I did not delete content and deny that I said anything. I also didn't delete the comment. I think that the problem with it, there was a comment that got removed. I actually talked to the person... One person, they literally were just getting like, they had commented something else, like blah, 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 and then all these people started under them and they just deleted their comment that all the thread was under. That wasn't me. They were just tired of seeing it. Okay, let's see. Pendletons. And then she invented a new word for Marxist-Leninists called Pendletons because she's so politically ignorant. She thinks I invented Marxism. Yeah, but I don't know the exact wording to Control F. They will say, listen to black trans women as a way of promoting themselves as authorities with good politics. I don't say that, actually. I think that regardless of any sort of marginalization that you have, you can have bad politics. You are brainwashed, right? You're taken advantage of by the system. You're misled. So that's not something I've ever said. She just made that up. Madeline started to spread the idea that the only reason I would make videos about her is because I was trying to make money. I've only ever made $151 on TikTok. Babe, it's YouTube. You're on YouTube. And she blew up. Her TikTok following blew up because of this. That is true. Okay, so let's see. Where is the thing? Okay, here. This is it. This is where I was like, oh, you can fuck all the way off. And I want to say this as, if we're going to talk about identity and white people in left-wing political spaces, this is something that really fucking pisses me off because I do care about this a lot, right? And especially being in California, communist in California, all of our political leadership in the past that we look to is Black Panther Party. They've been black. They've been black communists, black political leaders. If you organize, you're going to go into a room, you're going to find that it's mostly black and brown people organizing in that room out here in California anyway. That's always been my experience. So when I think about the accomplishments of communism, of Marxist-Leninism, right, it would be a disservice to not acknowledge the fact that it is mostly black and brown communists who have done that work in the United States. And they've done it for a very specific reason. They experience a level of direct marginalization and oppression that makes them more inclined to question the systems that we exist in. They get to class consciousness faster than white people. They just, very, very often, because we create the conditions of white supremacy that make them realize this system is fucked up way earlier than many white people do. It's just how it goes, right? Bigotco. What is your thing? So whatever. So, this is what pissed me off, where I was just like, this girl can fuck all the way off with her bullshit, right? I do not doubt that Madeline keeps a quiver full of black people who agree with her in her vicinity. And I'm like, this is how you fucking talk about black? Like, I'm so pissed off, like, reading it now. I'm like, this is how you fucking talk about black communists? This is how you fucking talk about black communists in California? This is how you fucking talk about people carrying on the legacy of the Black Panther Party? God forbid they have their own agency in their own politics. God forbid I be learning from them, which is what happens. Which is what fucking happens, by the way. I learn from them. No. They're a quiver full of black people who agree with me in my vicinity. And I'm like, fucking how dare you? Like, how dare you? Like, this bitch. Like, I'm so sorry. It's just insane. It's just insane. And then to say, it's incredibly hard not to fall into the tenets of whiteness when you haven't examined them. She's saying that every black Marxist-Leninist is falling into the tenets of whiteness? Like, what the fuck are you doing? What? Liberalism is the peak tenet of whiteness, by the way. Liberalism is propped up by white supremacy. To say this is just so fucking politically ignorant. What about Assata Shakur? What about fucking the Black Panther Party? What about every fucking black person in Cuba who fought for their liberation from capitalism? What about every fucking black communist in Angola? What about what the fuck are you saying? So yeah, this is Cat Black. Yeah, this is really what No Theory does to a motherfucker. Exactly, Skenderpig. So this is the story with Cat Black, and this is what I was just like, oh, you're a fucking bad person. You're a fucking bad person. And there is this thing that happens, and maybe Chad, if you guys are black Marxist-Leninists, you probably experience this more. But there's this idea that like black communists are erased because they're inconvenient for liberal narratives, right? They are inconvenient for a liberal narrative because liberals want to claim that they are defending somehow the most marginalized people in society. They want to claim that Marxism is for white people. Never mind the fact that it's a liberation ideology for mostly people of color, whatever. And this is a thing that it's like, you watch this when you're in communist organizing spaces. You watch this happen to your black comrades. You watch them get ignored. You watch them get overwritten. You watch people tell them that their politics are somehow a byproduct of white people in their proximity that they haven't deconstructed, which is fucking bullshit, because all of our, here in the United States, anything close to an actual Marxist, Leninist, or communist kind of revolution we've had has been because of the work of Black communists. So this is stuff that really pisses me off personally. I don't fucking like that shit. I don't like seeing other people go through it. And when you do work in organizing spaces and you look at your leaders who are very often, not white people, and you see them have to deal with this shit, and just other people from the outside have the complete opposite perspective that almost in many ways is so like belittling. It's like, oh, God forbid I show up in a room and learn from a Black communist. No. That could never happen, right? Because no Black communist actually knows what they're doing. They're all just brainwashed, right? That's the ideology. Anyway, so whatever. So that shit fucking pisses me off a lot, and that's when I was like, all right, fuck you. Fuck you psycho bitch. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. What the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, that's it. So that was longer than 10 minutes, but that was the one question we answered in the Q&A. So now you all know what's up with that, you know? Yeah, you've been called crazy stuff for supporting Burkina Faso. Exactly. Yeah, communism is white people shit, as if natives don't exist. Right. Like, it's just all of this shit. And then you look at the world and you're like, there's been one white country. Russia's the only white country, really, I mean, I guess more than that. USSR was expansive, but also East Germany, whatever. But when we look at the nature of Marxist-Leninism today, the revolutions that have endured, certainly, they're not even white people. They're not even fucking white people. Most communists are Asian at this point, or in Latin America. Like, what? There's a ton of African communists as well. It's insane. It's insane. Anyway, yeah, and then, like, also the Pan-Africanism thing, too. It's like, how are you going to say that? And you look at the Pan-Africanist movements, and even if they're not explicitly Marxist-Leninist, the overlap Pan-Africanism has with Marxist-Leninism is massive. You look at the work fucking Black Agenda Report's doing. You look at the Revolutionary Blackout Network's doing. Love those guys. Like, how can you say that? It's just so gross. Anyway. Did my health recover after all of that? I mean, it was pretty fucking crazy, honestly. Yeah. I'm okay now. I'm better now. But I did, yeah. I had a bunch of health issues come up, like, from the stress. It was crazy. It was really insane. Yeah. Yeah, she was part of these leftist, she was a bread tuber. So like Vaush, that whole crowd, I guess. I don't know. And that whole crowd's always been very obsessed with me. I just want to say. Destiny and Vaush have both aggressively tried to get me to debate them. I didn't know who they were because I'm not a YouTuber. I don't like consume YouTube content even, so I didn't really know. It was a really insane amount of stress. I mean, yeah, it was crazy. It was really crazy. So yeah, Vaush and Destiny and Cat Black. So I'm going through who are all the bread tubers? Because there's some more who are yet to be weird to me on the internet. So we'll see. Who are they? RedTube. Here we go. They're just like progressive liberals. Channels. Yes. Okay, Vaush, Destiny, Cat Black. Okay, Hassan Piker's the only bread tuber who's been normal to me. So I'm going to collect them all. I'm going to get into an internet fight with ContraPoints, Lindsay Ellis, H Bomber Guy, Abigail Thorne, Sean. Just some guy named Sean. I'm going to get into a fight with all of them. I'm ready. Bring it. Ah! Yeah, tubers. I'm going to fight them all. I'm fighting BreadTube. The funniest part is not even knowing what BreadTube is. And I'm like, who is this group of psychos who are obsessed with me? It's so weird. It was very interesting. I don't know. I love the deprogram guys. We gotta form a counter BreadTube alliance. It's like all the Marxist Leninist streamers, the deprogram guys. I love it. Okay, Bigatko, addressing you. What is it? I don't know why they called them BreadTube. I don't know anything about these people. The second bread intern. Return your task sheet. No, I'm keeping that because you're late on rent. You don't get that back until you pay up. How about that? Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We're getting into regular content. I am going to go take a fork break, give that dog a treat to distract her. Get your links ready. When I come back, we're doing links. She saw a man in front of the house. She didn't like that. He was real far away, but she was still like, I don't know about that. Okay. All right, everybody. Let the linking of the articles commence. If you are new here, we don't just talk about fights Madeline's gotten into on the internet. We talk about the news. So the way this works, thank you, Black Agenda Report, Link Smash Ultra, is that we go through current events, we choose something, we vote on it together, and we're doing something different today. The first 5, only the first 5, starting now, will get considered. So we don't have to do runoff elections that take up half the stream. So be quick on the draw, be prepared. We've got 3, we've got room for 2 more. Get them in. Get your links in. Commemoration Aztec Day. I got that one. Yes. Anzac Day. Link from earlier. Autistic Baddie. Oh, yeah. You're actually technically 4. We've got 4 already. Hold, please. I do. Where is it? Ugh. Got all this Cat Black stuff in my history now. What? Okay, yes. Oh, my God. The Ukraine link. This is what interested me. Foxia. Okay, California Democrats shoot down universal health care. Of course they did, these evil fucks. All right, I've got 5. I got 5. We're ready to vote. We are ready to vote. No, she did not. She did not do that. No. Okay. Wait, what is this? No, it's gonna be a Rickroll. It's gonna be a Rickroll. All right, Virgo, you ready for the poll? Yeah, Cat Black's gonna make a multi. I'm glad she deleted it. Little fucking weirdo. Now she's out here probably liking our Peace and Freedom Party bullshit. And you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the craziest thing. If Cat Black tomorrow was like, I am a Marxist-Leninist, I have fucked up, she would be let into the fold immediately. It's a Rickroll. Okay. She would be let into the fold immediately. I would be like, you know what? We all fuck up. We're all stupid sometimes. Liberalism makes us stupid. They want us to be dumb. We've done dumb things. I've done dumb things. That's fine. It'd be fine. That's all she has to do. Okay, Virgo, ready for the poll. All right. Our first option for the poll is an essay about the class war in Cuba. So it's not current events necessarily, but it is a current article about Cuba that passed. So, take that as it is. All right. All right. Then we have Anzac Day. April 25th. It's tomorrow. It's Anzac Day. It's Australia military occasion. So that's interesting to me. Okay, so Australia, Anzac. ANZAC. Yeah. Hold on. So this is the first one. This essay about Cuba. Then we have Anzac Day, the Australian War Museum. Okay. And then we have problematic fave Spain breaking up with NATO. We love to see it. We love to see it. Can you guys see me now? Screensaver's still on? Can you see it? Can you see it? Yes? Okay, good. And then we have more Ukraine. More fucking Ukraine. Ukraine. More Ukraine. And then we have Democrats being evil. They have to have some fuck-ass shit out here in California. Oh my god, you're buying a co-op unit. Raccoon Child! Yay! Oh my god, congrats! Is it you don't have to say where you live. But that's so exciting. I want to know if you're in New York. If you're comfortable saying if you're in New York, let me know. She deleted because she wants to have a reputation of real leftist. Yep. Back into the Okay, current poll is up. Refresh if you don't see it. It should be at the top of your chat. You know the rules. Voting is mandatory. Vote or gulag. What are we talking about today? Raccoon Child Seattle. Oh my god, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. Congrats. Yay. Who's Turkish Hund? Who are these people? Yay. Okay, what else? Anybody else got something else they want to talk about? While we do this? While we wait for the election results. I know. But of course they blocked CalCare single payer bill. These fucking evil people. And this is the same thing. We've got these crazies out here. We've got Tom Steyer running for Democrat, California governor. Yeah, the polls up. He is a billionaire who made his money by investing in Core Civic, which is a private prison group that also does contracting with ICE. And he's out here tweeting shit about how we need to stop ICE. Girl, you might as well be ICE. You funded ICE. What are you talking about? Crazy. Oh yeah, here we go. Get Walled gave us a little good something. We also have Javier Becerra, who takes money from the Israel lobby. Like, okay, what are we gonna do with this guy? It's crazy. European Court of Justice is now saying Hungary's LGBT laws are a crime against humanity. Not last week when Orban would have told them to go fuck themselves. Interesting. What are their laws? I don't know what they are. What's up with gay rights in Hungary? I dated a guy from Hungary once. Yeah, very interesting. Okay. Benjamin Netanyahu was treated for prostate cancer, so maybe the videos were AI of him in the cafe. Do you guys remember that? Javier Basura. That's right, Protein Gains. We hate him. There was like... Everybody was like, there's all these videos are AI. This video in the cafe. Everybody, if you've seen it, everyone thought it was AI, but it could, and that he was dead. Both of these, honestly. These everybody thought were AI. They do look very AI. They look very AI, but maybe he was just getting cancer treatment. Okay, in 99, Orban, Spain to NATO. Spain, okay, we're learning about that. 99, Orban passed sweeping anti-LGBT laws and effectively erased the notion that trans and queer healthcare should exist at all. Oh, okay, got it. And now they're like, hey, these are a problem. See, the commie stands with the cancer. I stand with the prostate cancer. In the war on Benjamin Netanyahu's asshole, I stand with the cancer. Yep. Yeah. Problematic fave wins again. This is just a Spain stream chat. Yeah, so one time I dated this guy from Hungary, and his name was Steve. And everybody else in my town was like, oh, Steve, but it's not Scuba Steve. And I was like, who the fuck is Scuba Steve? I don't know who that is. No, it's not Scuba Steve. And then for years of my life, we're talking 10, 15 years of my life, everybody from my hometown would be like, oh, Scuba Steve did this. Oh, Scuba Steve's such a great guy. Ha, I love Scuba Steve. And I'd be like, who the fuck is Scuba Steve? I do not know who Scuba Steve is. It's crazy. And everybody kept talking about him. And then finally one day, everyone was like, what Steve did you date? And I was like, Steve from Hungary. Hungarian Steve. And they were like, that is Scuba Steve. So it turns out I dated Scuba Steve and I didn't know. You know? Yeah, the war on Netanyahu's asshole. I said it. I'd say it again. There's a battle going on down there. You know, and I know whose side I'm on. That's what I'm saying. Zai. Okay, got it. Thank you, Zai the commie. Okay, I'll fix that. Thank you. Okay. Let's get into the news today, chat. Let's get into it. It's a real weird day. We're real loose today. It's a real weird day. I'm a Spanish propagandist, little do they know. I'm here to rehabilitate the image of Spain. This is my goal. That evil girl that loves Israel. Which evil girl loves... There's so many of them. They're all... Oh. Is the one that's like, holds the camera here and is like... And that's like her cadence when she talks. You know what I'm talking about? She has that kind of a voice. Yes? You guys know. You know who I'm talking about. And then she's always saying some fuck ass shit like, oh, and the Palestinians say they're dying. Well, you're not. They're fine. They're lying. And then like 10 seconds later, she's like, we killed you all. And you're like, girl, that one. Okay. Yeah. She's especially crazy. She's doing this a lot. That's my impression of that Zionist chick. No. What? Oh, I thought you were saying it was the same lady who juices fruit and churns butter. And I'm like, no, that's not her at all. It was someone else. Yeah. Okay. Virgo's on dog bathroom break. Yeah, I see her on Twitter. People make fun of her on Twitter a lot. That's she pops up for me. I know, Zionists are so crazy. So crazy. Yeah, I don't support all women. Some of yours are really collaborators. Yeah, welcome, Zoe Rose. Welcome. We're going to talk about Spain. Stick around. It's about to get weird. The chat always gets real conflicted when we talk about Spain. We got a lot of feelings about Spain. So, okay. Let's get into it. U.S. considers suspending Spain from NATO. Reported internal email suggests. Pentagon email obtained by Reuters reveals U.S. anger at Spain. UK as Iran war tensions persist. Big Gotko. I already told you about the ass cheek. Internal email. Yeah, I love this. There's so much to unpack here already. Pentagon email obtained by Reuters. Why? How? Why? Who's out here sending Pentagon emails to Reuters? Yikes. You got a leak. Donnie. Yeah, they probably got CC'd. And the United States is mad at Spain because Spain was like, you can't use our fucking our bases, right, to bomb Iran. I am also working on a map of the camps, right? And Spain, I have positioned them as bratty cuck or cucked brat. That's what they are. Like, Spain's cucked. Don't get it twisted. But they're brat. They're a little brat about it. They're like, no, you can't use it. Not for you. So yeah, they're cucked brat core. So yeah, they probably just added Reuters to the Telegram chat. They're a bratty cuck. Spain's bratty cuck as fuck right now. So I think that's funny. I think it's kind of fun. So, an email has circulated within the United States Department of Defense laying out potential measures Washington could take against NATO allies it believes have not sufficiently supported its war on Iran, such as Spain and the United Kingdom, according to a U.S. official quoted by the Reuters news agency. Now, the real question for the camp map, for when we're positioning people into camps, is the UK part of the evil empire, or are they just cucked? Because back in the day, evil empire for sure. But they're giving real cucked energy now, right? Real cucked energy. I mean, can they do anything without us? We don't have many Spanish people, if any, but we do have Portuguese people. Your mom's cousin's husband is Portuguese. And this is what I tell people, okay, Melme, when I tell people, be normal about Russia, just be fucking normal about it, man. Just whatever. If you can't replace Russia in a sentence with Portugal and have you not sound insane, you might be being weird about Russia. And my argument is that Portugal is up to some shit. They've been historically up to some shit, and now they're up to some shit. They're like, yes, you can use our bases to bomb the fuck out of Iran. Why not? Yeah, we'll colonize the world. Yeah, and this is what I tell people. There's nobody in Latin America speaking Russian, all right? That's all I'm saying. There's people in Latin America speaking Portuguese, though, and you might want to ask yourself why. So if you can't replace your weird sentence about Russia with Portugal and have it not sound insane, you might just be being weird about Russia, right? And then this one girl was like, well, I don't like Russia because I'm from Ukraine and we're at war with them and they're bombing us and I don't like being bombed. And I was like, you know what? If you were like, I don't like Portugal because they're bombing us and I don't like being bombed, that's a normal sentence. That's fine. I got my own feelings about the Ukraine-Russia war, but that's a sentence that makes sense at least. But these Americans out here, two things. Weird about Russia, not weird enough about Portugal. That's what I'm learning. Americans could be way weirder about Portugal. All right. The internal email considers options such as suspending Spain from NATO. Didn't the United States want to leave NATO? Weren't we like, fuck NATO? How is this punishment? Isn't all of NATO just dissolving as we speak? Right? Get weirder about Portugal, everybody. Get weirder about Portugal. You can't leave NATO. It's like the mob. Nobody leaves NATO. You get jumped in, and there's only one way out. Portugal kicked off the slave trade. Americans are fucking up the cost of living in Portugal. I do know that's true. But then I've seen a bunch of Americans be like, well, you fucked up my whole indigenous continent, Portugal. Do we really want to have this conversation? So, yeah, I don't know. I see both sides. That's all I'm saying. You've been weird about Portugal since like the 1500s. You're a head start. Okay. All right. So apparently we care about NATO again, and now we want to put people on time out from it. We're going to reevaluate Washington's stance on the British Falkland Islands, which are also claimed by Argentina. Now we're all buddies with Argentina. That's the thing. I added Argentina into the axis of evil. The axis of evil right now, currently, I think, is the United States, Ukraine, Taiwan, Turkey, I'm going to say, Azerbaijan, definitely, Argentina. Who else am I missing? Who else am I missing? Rwanda? Maybe Rwanda? Japan and Israel. Duh, the big ones. Japan and Israel, very, very obviously. Yes. Tanky Factory, welcome Queenly Tut. We are learning about Bratty Cuck Spain, giving the United States government hell, and we're talking about the camps that the world is actually divided into. Somaliland, excellent first time chat. Covidio Guzman, Somaliland is part of the axis of evil as well. Saudi cucked brat. Saudi, because because of their oil shit, sometimes they do stuff the United States doesn't like so much. Sometimes they're too cozy with China, and so. South Korea, definitely. South Korea is definitely axis of evil. Yeah, you can't leave NATO the same way Yeonmi Park can't leave the NIS. Yeah, I've seen all of your Yeonmi Park things. It's funny. Yeah. Just Dubai. Maybe just Dubai. We can spare Avis, the one weird communist Portuguese town. Yes. I agree, Malrish. They're like the Portuguese Marinalita in Spain. Yes. Qatar. Possibly. Qatar is either cucked or evil. I've got to make it. You know, any Axis countries that aren't close with the U.S. I don't think so. Saudi Arabia, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so the United States is cozying up with Argentina, fellow axis of evil. And this is the thing, too. When they call us campus, if you do not understand the world in the camps that actually exist politically, this is not going to make sense to you. So why is the United States fighting with England because of Argentina? Well, because Argentina is now one of our little buddies in our camp. Argentina's camped the United States. That's axis of evil, babe. They're us, right? So if the UK is like, hey, we'd like to practice some autonomy, and the UK is having a conflict of some kind with Argentina, very obviously the United States is like, well, you're not our team. You're not our camp. So to call people campus is to deny the fact that the world very much does operate in camps. There already are camps in conflict with each other, with ties with each other, with alliances with each other. And if you're not acknowledging that, you're just not keeping up with politics, right? Your home country has been compromised by NATO. I'm so sorry. Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's very funny. Yes, Tiniest Boop says, very funny to see pro-NATO people use the word campus. Bro, you created the camps. You made the camps. That is a camp. It's crazy. So, yes. So Argentina's in our camp now. The UK's acting up. So we're like, fuck it. British Falkland Islands, we're just going to say they're Argentina. Right? So the official said this speaking on a condition of anonymity. The email, which alleges, quote, a sense of entitlement on the part of Europeans, is intended as a signal to NATO partners, according to the official. Now, again, this all goes back to what was Jeffrey Sachs saying to the EU. The United States is not your friend. You better start building some EU collective power real fast, right? And he was right. They need an EU camp. They can't keep doing this. They're just going to get totally run over by the United States. Now, on the flip side, the other way to think about this, though, is that if the EU is able to acquire political power to be a viable counterbalance to the United States, think about who the United States' axis of evil partners are. They're not places that are particularly strong on their own, right? They're places that have basically allowed their countries to be turned into military outposts for the United States government. So Israel has a strong military on its own. Okay, yeah. But you should think about it. South Korea, Japan's strong, on its own, sure. But South Korea, Taiwan, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Argentina, these are not the strongest allies. These aren't the strongest, bedfellows or whatever, right? Won't an EU camp make it harder for socialism to come about? Yes, I think it will. That's why I think the EU would be smart to do this. And I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna get it together. I don't think they're gonna. But yeah, it would make it harder for socialism to come about, right? Because together, collectively, we kind of know this. We know that balkanization, a divide and conquer technique, it makes things weaker. So for capitalists, when we look at them, get weaker, babes. Balkanize the United States. Let's see what happens. Fuck it, right? But for socialist places, we know that it's catastrophic. So for the EU, really they're advancing the conditions of their own capitalist deterioration by refusing to work together to provide an actual counterbalance to the United States. Right, they're not very smart. They're not doing it smart. Would Israel's army be so strong without U.S. funding? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No, but Israel does now have a large tech sector. So originally it was U.S. funding that really bolstered them, but their tech sector is pretty advanced. I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to be the personal assistant for a woman who was on the board at the ADL. Did I ever tell you guys about this? That was like my job for a while. And she would give me all these books to read about Israel. And she was really trying to sell me on Israel. And I was like, And I would tell her, I'm like, yeah, my cousins are Palestinian. She's like, we don't have to talk politics then. We don't have to talk politics. It's fine. But she was like, maybe you could read this. Maybe you could read this thing, give me all these books. I know. The weirdest life. So I read this whole book about the Israeli tech sector. And their tech sector is pretty advanced. And of course, a lot of it is in weaponry, right? Like Elbit systems and stuff like that. Obviously, that's weaponry. But they have like AI stuff they're developing too. So they are developing their own pretty robust tech sector that is a financial support to them, which is interesting. Yeah, you don't remember it. Well, there you go. And I remember one day her mail came in and I sorted her mail. And she was like, what, did I get this? And I was like, no, but you got something from the Anti-Defamation League. And she was like, how do you know what that is? And I knew, I was like, oh, she's asking if I'm Jewish. But, she can't ask if I'm Jewish because it's work. And I was like, follow the news. And that's all I said. And then she was like, but you know about the ADL. And then finally, that's when I was like, yeah, my cousins are Palestinian. And she was like, oh, okay, well, we don't have to talk politics. That was it. Yeah, it's everywhere. Pretty wild. So, they're a little strong because of that is the moral of that story. Yeah, Israeli tech's everywhere. It is. It's so true. So true. So, all right, getting back into what's going on. The sense of entitlement on the part of the Europeans. I mean, the email is really just saying Europe is ass to us. They are trash to us. They are nothing. That is where we go to take vacations. Like, that is not a place of political consequence or concern for us. And Europe really has, in many ways, just had this whole economic decline. Like, it's not fully an economic decline, right? But they don't really have any viable industry. We talked about this in one of our last The Girls Are Fighting kind of streams. We were talking about the United States versus Europe, and will Europe decide to stand on its own politically and try to develop itself as a counterbalance to the United States power? They have struggled with industry. They haven't really developed enough industry on their own. So they're in this really interesting position, right? Because Europe used to be the great evil power of the world, and now it's an evil power that's been subjugated, that's been cooked. It's a cooked evil power, bibs. And we're seeing the United States be really mask off about this. However, the United States also does not realize that it seems like it's getting into dying empire status itself. So, very, very interesting. EU has had basically zero growth since 2008. Europe is a trad wife. Yes, all of this is true. The only tech innovation to come out of Europe in the last decade was OnlyFans, and the Brits made it. Really? Did the Brits make it? I thought it was Israeli. I thought OnlyFans was literally Israeli. Eurocoms. Is Eurocom like a specific type of communist ideology, or is it just European communist? Ooh, new Med Smash Ultra. Yay. Is it Humera? $6,000. I'm like, it must be Humera. Mm-hmm. A specific, I don't know anything about Eurocoms. Very specific ideology, very Western Marxist. Anti-Russia communism. Okay, we're going to pull that up as a little treat at the end of this reading. Eurocommunism. Okay. Like left com. Oh, okay. But it's like, okay, got it. Are they mostly centered in Europe? Do you guys know Americans know about this? I've never heard of this. Hearing the word Eurocom takes years off your life. Do all of our, it's just our European comrades who are like, ah! Yes, I'm marrying this man, chat. Carlos Hernandez and I are engaged now. Just so you guys know. Okay, so suspending Spain from the bloc would carry symbolic weight with little operational consequence to the U.S. military. True. This is according to the email. Asked about the missive while at an EU leaders meeting in Cyprus on Friday, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said Madrid is a reliable member of NATO that meets all of its obligations. I believe that's true. I also don't believe that NATO really needs Spain. I don't really think about Spain having particularly strong, military significance actually at all in the current day. So, I'm absolutely not worried, he said. We do not work with emails. We work with official documents and positions taken, in this case by the government of the United States. Thanks, everybody. I'm so glad you guys are here to see it. My engagement. The position of the government of Spain is clear. Absolute collaboration with the Allies, but always within the framework of international legality. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, also attending the Cyprus meeting, said NATO must remain united. A German government spokesperson said Spain's membership in the military alliance was not in question. Spain is a member of NATO, and I see no reason why that should change, said the spokesperson. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for British Prime Minister Keir Starmer hit back, saying the UK's position on the Falkland Islands is unchanged. Sovereignty rests with the UK, and the island's right to self-determination is paramount. It's been our consistent position and will remain the case, the spokesperson said. The UK and Argentina fought a brief war in 1982 over the islands after Argentina made a failed bid to take them. It's really embarrassing for Argentina, actually. It's really embarrassing to try to take something and fail to England. Humiliating. Some 650 Argentinian and 255 British service personnel died before Argentina surrendered. So embarrassing. Asked if Starmer thought the email was an attempt by the U.S. to put pressure on him to join the Iran war, the spokesperson said, pressure does not affect him and he will always act in the national interest. So that's really interesting. So this idea is that maybe the email was intentionally leaked to try to put pressure on Spain, right? But that's not very well played, I don't think. This idea that they would intentionally leak this email so that Spain would see and be like, oh no, what if I wasn't in NATO? That is a thought. It makes sense. That seems like something this administration would do. They think they were playing 3D chess or whatever. 4D chess, all chess is 3D, right? But I don't know how effective that would be. But also, though, Spain is not really under any sort of external threat at the moment. What does Spain really need NATO protection from at the moment? There's nothing really happening geopolitically that feels like Spain is at risk of a hostile military invasion. Russia's gonna come take Spain. They got some stuff in between them, right? Malta rises up. The greater Malta area. I can see that. Malta's also a problematic fave of mine. Yeah, the U.S. president is being scary about Cuba. The Falklands are in the news. What decade is this? All of them. All of them. Morocco wants to bring out the gold, and Morocco's coming for him. Morocco. Look, there's a certain parallel in Spain. I'm just saying, if Morocco wanted to divide it, it would not be surprising. They could go up to a parallel. Hot Malta's in your area, not even Maltese. Yanmi, Melania, J. Trump. Very weird. So, baseline for NATO. U.S. officials have long criticized their European allies for refusing or hesitating to allow the use of their bases for attacks on Iran. I kind of love that. That is an incredible first chat, actually. I kind of love that the United States is like, why won't you let us use your bases to attack Iran? And everyone's like, no, man, you're so fucking weird for that. We're not really into that. Spain has refused to let the U.S. wage attacks on Iran from its airspace or bases. Trump called Spain terrible, threatened to end all trade with the company. Spanish blockade. What if they blockade Spain? We need things from Spain. We need olives and olive oils and those thick liqueur kind of amaro. We need that. I need that. Aperitifs. I need a little aperitif with some olives. They can't blockade Spain. I require that to live. The U.S. president has also slammed Starmer as no Winston Churchill amaretto. Thank you. Spanish Juche incoming. I'm telling you guys, we might get Spanish communism in our lifetime. So the U.S. president is like, Starmer's no Winston Churchill, and mocked the UK's aircraft carriers. We'll get olives from Greater Israel. Oh, I hate how true it is. You're right, Malrish. Okay, so Trump is like, UK, meanwhile, your aircraft carriers, toys. Condemning what he views as insufficient support. Initially, okay, but like, if they're toys, why do you want them? Why do you need them? He's like, I didn't fucking want your stupid ass military. Anyway, it's like when a guy hits on a woman and she says no, and then he calls her fat. You know, it's like, you're into this. I know you wanted this. You just said you wanted this. Like, who are you fooling by trying to pretend you don't want this? That's literally what Trump is doing with the UK military support. Trump's like, let us use your fucking military shit. UK, come on. And the UK's like, I don't know about that one. And then he's like, fine, I didn't want your fucking stupid ass military. Anyway, it looks like little toys. It's not even real. It's not even real military. It's pretty funny. It's pretty fucking funny. It's so weird to watch happen. Oh, and also, initially, the UK did not authorize U.S. planes to launch attacks on Iran from 2 British bases. But then later they were like, fine. So it worked. That's the more embarrassing thing. It worked. Okay, we have this video. I honestly have no idea what they could include a video of, so let's just watch it.
Y en ese sentido, desde el primer momento se le trasladó clarísimamente al ejército americano y a las fuerzas americanas, y por lo tanto ni se autorizan las bases y por supuesto tampoco se autoriza la utilización del espacio aéreo español para actuaciones que tengan que ver con la guerra en Irán, para ir a una guerra contra la que estamos totalmente en contra, en la que no creemos, que nos parece profundamente ilegal y profundamente injusta.
Saben, hemos denegado a Estados Unidos el uso de la base de Rota y de Morón para esta guerra ilegal. Todos los planes de vuelo que contemplaban acciones relacionadas con la operación en Irán han sido rechazados, todos, incluidos los de los aviones de repostaje. No ha sido fácil, pero creo que lo hemos hecho porque así lo permite, entre otras cosas, el acuerdo bilateral que gestiona estas bases y porque somos un país soberano que no quiere participar en guerras ilegales.
I enlarged it too late. Sorry. But wait, but for real, do I think Spain will turn communist in our lifetime? I don't know, actually. I think that it's very, very hard to predict things, right? I know that Spain has a large communist presence. I think it really depends on how unified Europe gets. I think if Europe got more unified, they could stave off communist uprising for a while. But if they don't, if they continue to stay divided, I do know there's a large communist presence in Spain and Portugal. And Portugal as well. Spain and Portugal both have a very large communist presence, and northern Italy as well. Italy too. So those 3 places in Europe, I do know, have very, very active communist parties working very hard, and people are interested. So I'm not sure what, but I would say it's not out of the question. Certainly. I don't think it's totally out of the question. France is doing okay too? Okay, I don't know much about them. Spain's national swing is pretty big. That's the thing about Spain. The thing about Spain is that the same thing as the United States. We see nationalism, fascism picking up steam. We see the communists as the counterbalance. We see both of these kind of groups usually grow in tandem, and then they end up fighting each other. So that actually is what makes me think it'd be more possible to occur there, because that seems to be historically kind of a breaking point for how many more developed and stable, politically stable countries end up kind of making the switch, right? They get a growing nationalist or fascist contingency that disrupts the stability, and that's when the communists come in as the counterbalance. So that would be my anticipation. I would guess that if fascism became more popular in Spain, that it would increase the likelihood of communist resistance. You know, I think that's usually how it kind of goes. Big Cotco, single person protest going on in the chat. So the reported Pentagon email relayed Washington's frustration, saying basing an overflight rights should be just the absolute baseline for NATO, according to the U.S. officials quoted by Reuters. Trump has also urged NATO countries to deploy their navies to help force open the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, well then that's not the baseline then. You want them to come join your war. And again, NATO is supposed to be a defensive organization, which does leave things open to interpretation, but you know, it's not a stated offensive group. It's not like Donald Trump consulted NATO before deciding to plan and execute this war. It's just kind of like he did it. The Trump administration did it. And now after the fact is going to NATO being like, join in. But like if you'd asked NATO, they probably from the jump would have told you they weren't interested in going to war with Iran, right? Mel May says, if the U.S. doesn't have their revolution when I'm like 60 with their current trajectory, I'll be surprised. Yeah, I mean, it's really... Things are wild right now. I do think that if states broke away at all in the United States, yeah, it would increase the probability probably. So who knows? So Trump has also urged NATO countries to deploy their navies, like we said, which is pretty wild. He called NATO countries cowards for not sending their forces in. Like, for what? What do they get out of this? He said the 77-year-old military alliance is a paper tiger without the United States. That's probably true. European-U.S. tensions grew further on Friday when U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, commenting on the Strait of Hormuz at the news conference, said, the time for free riding is over. Okay. America and the free world deserve allies who are capable, who are loyal, and who understand that being an ally is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street, said Hegseth. But it's like you're not defending yourself. Like you're just starting indiscriminate wars with Iran. So Hegseth said, we're not counting on Europe, but they need the Strait of Hormuz much more than we do. I think we are counting on Europe, is what I'm hearing. And they might want to do less talking and having less fancy conferences in Europe and get in a boat. This is much more their fight than ours. Okay, absolutely insane. This is so embarrassing. This is the most cringe thing I've ever read. We don't need Europe, but like, we kind of need Europe. And like, really, if you think about it, they need it more than we do. But why don't they realize they need it more than we do? Hello? And it's like, well, because Europe clearly doesn't fucking think they need this war, right? Yeah, totally trying to rage bait people into joining them. Alberta is going to be our St. Petersburg. Well, Trump has previously floated withdrawing the United States from NATO. Yes, he did. The Pentagon email does not present U.S. withdrawal from the alliance, nor the closures of U.S. bases in Europe, the official told Reuters. Can you imagine the United States having to close bases in Europe? Oh, we'd be so upset. We'd be devastated. That's what we really need. We need to be able to use places as our military bases. So that's the entire article. Also worth noting, and I've told people this before, when you think about Israel and the United States relationship, we obviously know the proper framing is that Israel is a client state of the United States and not the other way around, right? But the reason we allow Israel to cause us so much stress and strife is because we basically use Israel, the entire country, like a military base. That's the agreement we have with Israel. So that is also the agreement that we want to have with all of Europe, that we want to have with Taiwan, that we want to have with South Korea, and we do have with South Korea, certainly. And this is the key benefit. We want militarily strategic locations with our bullshit there. That's it. Mm-hmm. People online are like, Trump is controlled by Netanyahu and Putin, which is wild because you're like, Netanyahu and Putin hate each other, first of all. You know, wild. And then second of all, we control Israel, not the other way around. We have 38 years. We have 38 years for Mel May's revolution. U.S. unsinkable aircraft carrier in the Middle East is Israel. Iran's unsinkable aircraft carrier in the Middle East is land. Just land. Just everywhere. The tail isn't wagging the dog. Exactly. Israel and Russia are pretty close. You know, I don't think they're actually that close. I mean, based on the conversations that I saw in the Epstein files about Russia, you know, Ukraine and Israel are very close. And Epstein was talking to people in Israel and Ukraine about the possibility of replacing Putin with another guy. I can't remember his name, but he was pretty high up in the Ukrainian, or in the Russian government military, I think in the military. And they had named a guy that they were like, this guy, we should have this guy replace Putin. So I don't think that's super accurate. I'm sure they have relations and business dealings, Russia and Israel, but I would say that it's more obvious that Ukraine and Israel have an alliance. They're really not that close. Yeah, I wouldn't assume that they were that close. They're close as a matter of diplomatic normalcy and trade. Yeah, trade, exactly. I would assume they're doing trade deals, but not yeah, I think they're opposite camps. They're opposite camps. And that's why the thing about, I mean, you guys are campists. We'll understand the world in camps, and you'll understand all of these countries and how they interact with each other, right? And I think that's important. All trade that is headed for West Bank is counted as trade with Israel. That's also true. Larry pointed that out. That's very true. That's also important to talk about when we talk about China. People will be like, China is trading with Israel. And it's like, well, some of that shit's literally just going to the West Bank also. That's important to remember. Yeah. Big Gakko is doing a Molotov ribbon drop with Burger Reich. Oh, so funny. Yippee. Okay, so should we take a second to learn about Eurocommunism before we're done today? I want to learn about it. I want to learn about it. Do you guys want to learn about it? Okay, I want to know. All right. Eurocommunism was a current among the communist parties mainly in Europe from 1968 up until the early 1980s, which saw autonomy of their own national parties relative to the leadership claims of the Soviet and Chinese parties or each other. Oh, okay. Being particularly critical of the lack of internal democracy in the communist movement. Okay, whatever. I see how you guys are like left comm. It's some bullshit. Okay. Oh, share screen. I'm going to share screen so you can see this. You need to get the full experience, you need to see how the Marxist.org website has laid out this content. This is very important. Very important. Lilith, oh my God, that's horrible. I'm so sorry. It is a tall people problem. That is. You had a left comm call you a fascist today. Well, that's how you know you're doing it right. They don't know what's going on. Over on TikTok this morning, it was bleak. Burger Reich was bleak on TikTok this morning. The political literacy of Burger Reich was really stressing me out. I was stressed. I was politically enraged. I was activated emotionally. I was distraught, and they were out there saying the same thing. Yeah, you're a fascist for supporting the DPRK, my sibling in Christ. I've just started telling them to read Benito Mussolini. I'm like, go read him. And I don't know if that's going to backfire on me. What if they're like, this Mussolini guy's got some good ideas? I don't know if I should be sending them there. I can't trust that they're smart enough to not fall for it. So I don't know. Oh! Toby, hi. Yeah, we do need more graphic designers in Marxism. I'm convinced, though, PSL has all the graphic designers, and that's why everybody hates them. They're jealous of PSL's graphic designers. My sibling in proletariat. Yes. I should. So the Eurocom movement, they were like, we want to form our own left-com European utopia here. The failure of the Communist Party to win the leadership of the student protest movement and the women's movement caused many in the communist parties, especially in Europe, to argue that the party should orient to these movements and broaden their base outside of the organized working class and give less emphasis to defense of the Soviet Union. This is the thing. This is like some Khrushchev-ass shit. Anybody, and this is my thing too, anybody who asks you to throw communist projects under the bus to appeal to them is not somebody worth appealing to, right? And I think about this with the internet. We talked about this with polemics yesterday. I could present myself on the internet. I could be way more likable if I didn't defend the USSR, if I didn't defend North Korea, if I didn't defend China back in the day. Now everybody's cool with it, whatever. But what's the utility in that, right? If you are not willing to stand up and defend socialist projects that came before you, then what you are really saying is you are content to live in a world where people can slander your socialist project in the future and nobody will come to its defense. And that's not okay. It's not good. So Yeah, Eurocom is gibberish. They're like, fuck the USSR. We want to do identity politics. We should, again, the thing about identity politics and how liberals talk about communist and identity politics is like, bitch, we do identity politics. We do identity politics better than anybody because we materially want to improve the conditions of marginalized and oppressed people. That's what communism is. Why do you think that ethnic minorities were more likely than ethnic majorities to approve of situations like Yugoslavia and the USSR? Right? Identity politics, that's our shit. That's what we do. Why do you think the woman question is the first question posed after a socialist revolution? Right? Because they want women to be politically engaged and activated and to be treated as equals in society. So they know the first thing you have to do is provide childcare. That's something that capitalists still haven't figured out. So I do think it's interesting. When we say, they want to do identity politics, what we mean is they want to start pandering to specific people based on their marginalized backgrounds without offering any material support or assistance to them. And that's it. Because when you do this and you say you're going to abandon the defense of the Soviet Union and abandon appealing to people as an organization of the working class, you want to strip them from their class position in order to appeal to them. And when you strip people from their class position to appeal to them, you're not going to be able to offer solutions that actually appeal to them, because the solutions that would appeal to them are based on their position in their class, right? A working class woman does not have the same problems as a wealthy woman. These are different problems. And if you're not acknowledging that, if that's not part of how you're addressing these issues, you're not going to be able to offer real solutions for a working class woman. Yeah, identity politics was coined by Black Marxist feminists. Yeah, I mean, and that's it. We do it. We do it well. We do it the best. But, liberals do this thing where they want to co-opt these ideas of the liberation of marginalized people and not liberate them, and just use it as a way to continue to defend the further oppression and marginalization of people to support a capitalist agenda. And it's really, really weird. It's really, really creepy. Co-opted by liberals, right? Very, very strange. And that's like, I think most people who become Marxists, what brings us here is that we realize the failures of liberalism. And one of the failures of liberalism is its failure and inability to protect marginalized people. It just can't. The USSR did more to protect marginalized people than Kamala Harris ever did, right? So that's interesting. All right, so Encyclopedia of Marxism on Eurocommunism, in the words of its advocates, we have an entire internet article of what is Eurocommunism. Let's find something short just to get into it. Oh, that's not it. Eurocommunism and the New Party. Okay, we'll just read a little bit of the intro here. We'll get started on it. We won't have time to do all of it. Bye, Virgo. Have a good weekend. See you Monday. Clocking in at the Communism Factory. So the emergence of Eurocommunism coincides with two major phenomena in the political and economic life of Europe: the disappearance of the fascist dictatorships in Greece, Portugal, and Spain, and an economic crisis of almost unprecedented dimensions. Indeed, the economic crisis is a political, moral, and ideological crisis as well, calling in question those political and ideological structures which have provided the framework for life in Western Europe since the Second World War. It's clear that in the disappearance of the fascist dictatorships, a crucial part was played by internal factors, but it is no less clear that other factors of more general and more international character also played a part. One of these was the weakening of North American imperialism and its inability to preserve its hegemony and control over Europe. Did that happen in 1978, chat? Did that happen? I don't know that happened. Maybe. Oh, we got a Prole wiki too. Thanks, London's Best Gay. I am not a bot. Okay, so hopping over here for a little addendum. Popularized by Santiago Carrillo, the former General Secretary of the Communist Party of Spain from 1960 to 1982. Its supporters claimed that it was a natural continuation of Marxist ideology after the death of fascist regimes and the defeat of U.S. imperialism in Vietnam. Oh, yeah, I guess in Vietnam, yeah. As a rejection of the dogmatic currents in Marxist politics. I don't think Marxism is very dogmatic, though. I think only the Frankfurt kind of people are dogmatic. Eurocommunism rejects the fundamental Marxist principle of class struggle due to its reformist beliefs and attacks socialist countries, including the Soviet Union and China. Furthermore, Eurocoms defend Western imperialism, reducing it to a form of social democracy. What? Is that real? Page 117 and 118. PDF. No. I need this. Vijay Prasad. 117, 118. What? Yeah. Orthodox communists are dogmatic. I don't think Marxism is a dogmatic ideology at all. This is a fight I get into with my partner a lot. Because, you know, my partner, family, USSR, based babushka granny. And it's like, oh, you guys are so dogmatic. You're dogma. And I'm like, it is literally the least dogmatic ideology on the planet. What are you talking about? Okay, here. So this is the citation on this sentence. Euro-communists defend Western imperialism, reducing it to a form of social democracy. This is Hoxha. Euro-communism is anti-communism. Okay, this is what I want to read. I don't want to get into this. All right. So we're going to read a little bit from this really fast for a page or two. Hi, nice hair. Thank you. What do you think about Hoxhaism, non-revisionist in their views of Chinese and DPRK socialism? Dogmatic example right there. Exactly, Leaping Larry. I agree with Larry. I agree with Larry on that. Look, this is something that I got a good orientation from my party, and I was like, I fuck with this. So I'm really going to try to hit this hard. Look, if the conditions for a revolution are different everywhere, I don't feel that I can safely say that what was happening in Albania was bad for Albania, right? Whatever. That's what worked for them. They got their revolution. They got there. I never got there, so whatever. Maybe that was good for Albania. But similarly, I can't say that what was good for China is somehow bad, actually, for China. Like, it clearly worked. They clearly have a revolution. They clearly are still doing it. So I'm not going to throw Hoxha under the bus for Albania, but I'm going to say I don't agree with that assessment of China, of the USSR, of these other places, you know? That's kind of my vibe, right? So Malrich thinks it's kind of communism, but racistly. I don't know, though, because it seems pretty... Well, hold on. So in 1956, Soviet tanks entered Hungary. Debate over this intervention spread across the world's left. The Polish and Hungarian people have written their critique of Stalinism upon the streets and squares, wrote the British Marxist E.P. Thompson. Soviet intervention came a few months after the 20th Congress of the Communist Party of the USSR, when Khrushchev had denounced Stalin and blamed all distortions in the USSR on the cult of personality. The attack on Stalin and the USSR's intervention in Hungary damaged its reputation in the Third World. A reputation secured not only because it had built a modern, equitable state out of a peasant society, but also because it had used its incredible prowess, built at great sacrifice, to defeat fascism. The anti-colonialism of the early Soviets was mirrored by the anti-fascism of the next generation. This was now damaged by the 20th Congress revelations and by the invasion of Hungary. Okay, so Togliatti, a leader of the Italian Communist Party, called for a reconsideration of the centrality of Moscow to the world communist movement. National roads to socialism need to be developed, Togliatti wrote, as he reiterated an older desire for polycentric communism. That in itself doesn't sound super bad. This was to be a communism that was not centered around Moscow and Soviet foreign policy. Soviet intervention in Hungary and the Khrushchev revelations produced in Europe a process that led gradually to the Euro-communism of the Communist Party of Spain's leader, Santiago Carrillo, who said in 1976, once Moscow was our Rome, but no more. Now we acknowledge no guiding center, no international discipline. This is very interesting because, like, look, I'm doing my podcast episodes about Yugoslavia right now. I see the conflict that arose between Stalin and between Tito. I see both sides of their conflict, and obviously the result was bad. The result of beefing with the USSR was bad. I don't think it's great that the USSR imposed sanctions on Yugoslavia. Obviously, it drove Yugoslavia straight into the arms of the IMF and the West, which I think is bad, right? Maybe some other communist leaders would have found a way to avoid going to the IMF in the West. Who knows? But that's not what happened. So the idea of having, reminding everybody that communism is not just the USSR and Stalin and Moscow, I see that there could be utility in that, certainly, even as we defend the USSR and their revolution. However, when that comes along with denouncing the USSR or Stalin, or the Stalin-era leadership of the USSR, to be more precise, what's the point in that? What's the utility of that, right? That also seems like a ridiculous way to do things. Proto-Juche, not exactly. It doesn't sound like exactly they did that. So I don't know. A centrist on Stalin versus Tito. I see both sides, okay? And I can think with my wasn't there armchair revolutionary brain, if I was Tito, I simply would not have taken IMF loans. Who fucking knows what I would have done, right? I might have balled up in a corner and started crying the second Stalin got mad at me. Who fucking knows? I don't know. I don't know. It's easy to say in retrospect, man, they really shouldn't have taken those IMF loans. Who knows, though? It makes sense until you remember it's centered there because of its success in the USSR and no success in Europe. Exactly. Right? So denouncing the USSR, being like, no, we're different. We're not like that. It's like, okay, what's the fucking use in that? That's silly. So this is interesting. The European Party is correcting the desire for their right to develop their own strategies and tactics, nonetheless, threw themselves onto a self-destructive path. I mean, look, I get it. This is what you see with Yugoslavia. Develop your own tactics for sure. What works for you is different everywhere. It can be annoying to have Papa USSR breathe down your neck and go, no, not like that. No, don't do that. No, that's going to fuck things up. But it is true that the USSR had a very successful revolution. The same way we look at China, we say, well, whatever criticisms you have of China, China's there. China's still there and they're doing it, right? Things work. I think these are situations that make sense for both sides of everybody to be involved in. And I get it. However, I don't think that throwing other communist projects under the bus in any capacity benefits your revolution. It doesn't. How does it benefit you to be like, yeah, fuck the USSR? And it's the same thing we see here in the United States when we talk to left comms, right? Like, who does this benefit? Whose interests are you serving by saying fuck the USSR? A project that objectively we know brought so much good to so many people's lives. Vast improvement over Tsarism. Who does this serve? And I think that's the same thing that you can see here, right? Why? Yeah, Mamdani throwing Venezuela and Cuba under the bus. Why would you do that? What is the utility in this? I don't get that, right? Right. So, that seems to be born of the same kind of idea, but in Europe. Like, Europe's built different, right? Like, we don't need the USSR. Europe's built different kind of a thing. What no material analysis does, exactly. Yeah, liberals pretending to be communists think rejecting existing socialist projects gives them credibility. Exactly. And it's like, no. And it just sets up your shit to be lied about, ridiculed, torn down, and smeared in the future. No, it benefits no one. So this is Hoxha talking about it. At the 9th Congress of the Communist Party of Spain in April 1978, the Carrillo revisionists declared that their party was no longer a Marxist-Leninist party, but a Marxist Democratic Revolutionary Party. To consider Leninism the Marxism of our time, declared Carrillo, is unacceptable. And we have so much communism in Europe today, right? No. So the French revisionist leaders proposed to their 23rd Congress, held in May 1979, that they should give up referring to Marxism-Leninism in the documents of their party and use the term scientific socialism instead. Okay. The Italian revisionists too. I mean, sure, but like it's just so interesting. I don't know. Because it's like, yes, Lenin was doing scientific socialism, definitely. On its own, calling it scientific socialism isn't bad, but you know the motives. You know the motives is to distance yourself from the USSR, a very successful socialist project. So, yeah, very, very strange. What they're doing is what Lady Idhizar is talking about here. Is this marked safe? Marxist Gamer Zero wouldn't rickroll me, right? Let's see.
Did you know that Stalin helped coin the term American exceptionalism? It's 1927, and Jay Lovestone, then General Secretary of CPUSA, the Communist Party of the U.S., had some disagreements with Stalin. Stalin was frustrated by the American Communists' resistance to revolution, especially in comparison to other international communist parties. Lovestone would explain it away by insisting that the United States and Americans are far different than the rest of the world and are an exception to the expectation, and things just don't work the same here. Stalin would then call this the heresy of American exceptionalism, though Lovestone would go on to form his own anti-communist party as well as work with the CIA. And while this wouldn't be the first instance of Americans being accused of acting as though they are the exception to the world, I do like the idea of Stalin being the one specifically coining the term. It's very fitting. Did you know that
I love her. She's great. Seattle communist, Seattle comrade for all you Seattleans. That's a Seattle comrade. No, but that's true. But I mean, and it is interesting. You have to balance, like, okay, revolution's going to look different everywhere. Definitely. Totally. For sure. But if you're not trying to learn from socialist projects around you or listening to their expertise or, you know what I mean? It's like, if you're just like, no, we're built different. Get out of my way. You know, like, good luck. Best of luck. You better be right. You better be right. That's what it comes down to. You better be right. And if you're not right, you know, we reserve the right to mock you for your overconfidence on that issue. Right? Yep, Seattle. She's Seattle. So it's hard. It's a hard one. It's a hard position to take. Because you got to really back it up. If you're like, we know better than the USSR, okay, big claim. Be ready to prove it, right? And it's hard. And with Yugoslavia, it's like, well, yeah, you kicked Nazis out of your land. You had this revolution. You have something to show for it. So if you want to show up and say, no, USSR, I think we know better how to handle Yugoslavia. Okay, you get a little bit of credibility there, right? You go, okay, let's see what happens. Let's let them cook. Even Hosha, okay. But to see that it's people who've not won a revolution, quite a claim, quite a bold claim, right? So interesting. There is the statue of Lenin in Seattle, yeah. Okay, so Eurocommunism is interesting. It does sound like just what we would call leftcom here in the USA. It does kind of, yeah, like the video on the CPUSA, kind of similar. And ultimately, you guys know I used to be in the CPUSA, and that's when I was like, oh, I don't really fuck with this. This is kind of weird. I outgrew it politically, I would say, right? But yeah, I'm glad I learned about that because it does sound like a lot of just general leftcom stuff we have out here. What else? You guys got anything else you want to talk about before we end our stream today? What do you think? What do you think, everybody? Nothing more to add? No burning things to discuss? You guys are always sending things. Ask back now. You know what, Big Gotko? Fine. I'm returning your left butt cheek. Maoists are also weird on China. Yeah, they're so weird. Can we talk about camps? Yes, we can talk about camps. So I'm working on the camp list. All right, it's on my phone. It's on my phone. You know, it's an issue. So let me see what I got going on. It's this app. It's Map Chart app on my phone. And I told you I had created one and it was almost done, and in my phone it shut down the app, but I didn't realize I didn't save it. But we're filling it in. Do you see the map? Do you see it? Okay. So I can send this to the computer and show you where we're at so far. We can do that. And then we can talk about it together. We can. This is fun. I'm very excited about this. I like the map. I love the camp. We're building the camps. Burger Reich non-aggression back. Transaction completed. Okay, we'll take a look at this. I'm gonna show you. I have to pull it up on my computer first. I can't send it yet. But when it's done, we can share it in the Discord, maybe. The map. All right. So this is what we have so far. Hold, please. Screen share. All right, the map. So, I have 5 I'm working on so far. This is a work in progress. Nobody judge my work in progress. I don't know why this color's here. That was a mistake. Ignore her. Okay. We have Evil Empire. We have Cuck. We have Cucked Brat. We have the Resistance. And then we have Defiant, which, you know, Mexico, for example. They're not quite the Resistance, but they're a little defiant. So United States, Evil Empire. Argentina, Evil Empire. I put the United Kingdom in as Evil Empire, but I could be persuaded easily to make them a cuck. You know? Turkey, Ukraine, Evil Empire. Evil Empire. Japan, South Korea, Evil Empire. Australia, Evil Empire, but could also be a cuck. I could be convinced they could be cucked, but they really aid us militaristically in our most evil shit, you know? Argentina has twice the total IMF debt that of the guy in second. I would be inclined to say Argentina is completely cucked. You think so? They are cucked, huh? But they're such an active cuck participant. You think UK is more cuck? You can have it when I'm done. It's a work in progress. I'm not ready yet. Okay. Wait, let's discuss. Let's go continent by continent, and I will make live changes to the map, but you won't be able to see them. We'll keep it updated. All right. So we're gonna do it together, chat. All right. So I got Canada definitely cucked. That's so fucking clear, right? Obviously. All right. United States evil empire, very obviously. Mexico, defiant. They're not fully ready to fight us, but they'll say some words. They'll align themselves maybe with people who are fighting us. So I think Mexico, Cuba, defiant. No, Cuba actually the resistance. Yes, the resistance. All right, Venezuela, they used to be the resistance, but now they're just defiant. They kind of got cucked, but I think they're holding it down. Okay, so Brazil, do you think Brazil's the same as Mexico? Because Brazil, it could go either way. I don't think Canada, I think Canada's too cucked. I have to fill these in still. I would say Colombia is a bratty cuck is what I think. Cucked brat. Brazil, I think Brazil is cucked brat for sure. I think Gazelle, right? Because the thing about Brazil is like, they're involved with some BRICS stuff, right? They're all up in that, but then at the end of the day, they still do a lot of what we want whenever we want, right? So Argentina, I do think Argentina operates as part of the evil empire because I think we are working on developing them into like a base, like a military base for us, right? They're just an outpost of us, right? Look up. Brazil is horrible on women's rights, but they put a corrupt president in jail. People in Brazil are defiant. Okay, so I feel like cucked brat is good for them then. Brazil denied Venezuela entrance to BRICS. So cucked brat would be like, you're cucked, but like once in a while you're like, no, United States, I don't agree. Right? Once in a while. And they're very close with Israel. That's why I was like, they're pretty cucked, but once in a while they're like, I say no. Right? Okay, so Argentina. What's up with you? Argentina? Yeah, so Argentina used to have, like much of Latin America, South America, a very large left-wing political presence, obviously. But the United States has totally smashed that out of everything. Now, the reason why Argentina is part of the evil empire, I'm so sorry to tell you, is that it seems like the United States is intent upon making you a military base for us in South America. You're part of us. You're part of the United States. The same way Taiwan, the same way South Korea, the same way Ukraine, all these places. Once we set our sights on it, we're making that happen. So it looks like Argentina is going to be our basic outpost operating in South America for a while. Yeah, Milei just does whatever Trump wants him to. Exactly. So let's look at what else we got going on. All right. Greenland, defiant. Similarly, where the fuck are they? Norway. Wait, so Norway is who owns Greenland, right? Right now? Yeah, Argentina, anti-China. Maybe Norway is more cucked brat or defiant. Maybe. What do you guys think? Denmark's the one. Denmark's the one, not Norway. Denmark, that's right. Okay. Let's get into that. Who is that above Poland? That's just a part of Belarus. Belarus has a little friend hanging out over there. He's part of it. Belarus is definitely the resistance. Belarus, Russia, Iran, China. I put Yemen. I'm choosing to think of it as Yemen. Why? What happened on geography? It's a part of Russia. It's a part of Russia? This is not part of Belarus. Part of Russia. Thank you. Sorry. I told you guys I'm bad at geography. I've told you. Yemen is. Yeah, I put Yemen. Yeah, I put them in there. Thank you. I'm sorry. I knew it was our guys. I didn't know how it was our guys. I knew it was our guys, and that has to count for something, right? I was like, that's us. That's our team. That's our camp. It's Russia, not Belarus. Oops. Sorry. Okay. You think Egypt's fully cucked? It could go either way for me with Egypt. You know? It could go either way. You guys think maybe Egypt is cucked brat. I'm sad about Ireland too. I struggled with Ireland. I really struggled. It's hard because Ireland, the government of Ireland is so not representative. I'm going to save the spirit of the people of Ireland. You know what I mean? You think Egypt cucked? Okay, I'm going to say Egypt's a cucked brat because sometimes Egypt is like, no. You know? Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're like, eh. You know what I mean? Light blue is defiant. It's like, you're not fully ready to fuck with the United States, but like, you're like, I'm getting there. Oh, they're testing me. Oh, I'm mad. Think Mexico. Right? Burkina Faso. Where are you? You're not filled in. Burkina Faso. I thought I filled it in. You know what? It's so hard because I deleted everything. And I'm so bad at geography. I'm so American on geography. Here. I didn't fill it in yet. Burkina Faso is definitely the resistance, though. Definitely. All right. Hold on. I'm updating as we go, guys. I'm updating. Okay, I'm changing Egypt to cucked brat. I'm changing that. There's no Somaliland also. Yes, the commie country should technically be red. You're so right. Okay, Burkina Faso. Let's make her rightful blue. She deserves that. She's filled in. South Africa is standing up to Israel a lot. South Africa's defiant. South Africa's like, no. Fuck your war. Fuck Israel too. A little bit. So, yeah, Somaliland, not on the map. I would love for Somaliland to be on the map, though. You know? And then there's Rwanda. Here's the big question. Is Rwanda evil empire, or are they just cucked? I feel like we are trying to use Rwanda as a strategic African outpost. Right? A Somaliland truther. Add it to the map. I need to turn it red. Evil, Rwanda, right? Evil. Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking. See, I was doing this in bed one morning, and I had the whole map filled in, and I was doing these delicate, maybe because of this, but maybe this. And then when it deleted, I was just like, what the fuck? You know? What the actual fuck? It became a problem for me. A real issue. Okay, so hold on. Let's fill in Rwanda evil empire. Right? What are all the options? So we have 5 options I'm working with. Ignore this. This is a work in progress. The evil empire, that's the United States and our military bases. Not just our military bases, our countries we use as military bases. You know, like Ultra, like, yeah, that's fucking us out there. We're doing it. Then we have orange, which is general cucked. Like, you're not standing up to the United States. You're not. We might not be all up in there controlling everything, but you're not. If the United States looks around the room and goes, does anybody have a problem with this? You're not speaking up. You're like, I didn't see anything. Now, cucked brat is most of the time you're like that, but once in a while you're like, you know what, yeah, I might have a problem with that. Maybe. A little, maybe. I might. I don't know yet. We're thinking about if I have a problem with that or not. My bad. Keep going. There's kind of a cucked brat thing, right? So then we've got the resistance. How even a color. I know. I just tried to choose colors. I thought this was orange. I tried to go neutral colors. So I thought this was orange, but the fact that you guys are reading it as red, it's a problem. So I got to change that. I thought I was doing orange. So I'm just going to go totally different colors. I can't be trusted with the colors, apparently. But I'm going to fill in the whole thing. And then we're going to have we were going to do a whole thing about it. So this is a preview. But look, I can very easily change the color. So we're going to go green for Evil Empire. And then we're going to go cuck and then cucked brow. Okay. And then the resistance we'll make purple because that's pretty. So now all the colors are different. Okay, now look. Now look at that. Look at that. You see? Okay. I can't be trusted. Red, green, colorblind. I actually know I'm not colorblind because when I worked at Levi's in design, they make you take a color test, and my color test was really, really good. So they put me on the color story actually because my color test was good. So the app is called Map Chart app, and I'm gonna fill the whole thing in. So you know we're getting through it. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna fill in everything I think. And then we'll have a whole day where we go through and talk about it. And we'll perfect it together. We'll change it together. And then we'll have a final version that's chat approved that we can share in the Discord of the camps. The world is Hulk. That's what we're going to do. Okay, all right. Okay, I got to get out of here. I got to start. I got to do all my work. My partner's going to be home in an hour. I still have to do my work day. And then we have to drive to Vegas. So if you're going to, be at Sick New World, I'll see you there. See me. Come say hello. And otherwise, I will see you on Monday. I'll see you on Monday, chat. We will do it. All right. So let's send everybody Larry, our fave. I will see Corn for you. I will see them all. Fishing. What is the fishing? I need to steal that. I need to figure that out. I gotta do so much. I have to go to the bathroom so bad. I've been holding it. I won't be able to look at anything else before we go. I'm so sorry. Ass Cheek Ascension. Big Gotco. Okay, bye. Everybody's getting ready. Getting ready.